I want to show you where I keep my MIS2000. I have it in my desktop, but I also have in my taskbar. So it's in here because it's one click in the software is on. And we are now looking at the recruiter's view, the COE view. And I have this is a fake COE that I created just to show you. And this is the data that the recruiter's entering here. And as you can see, the recruiter enters the family first. This is the family information. And when the recruiters want to create a new COE, they have to click on the plus sign here in the navigation pane. And then everything is gonna get clear. And you need to make sure, the recruiter need to make sure that the date and the district ID and the school year is correct. Then once the recruiter finish or complete this part, this tab in here, it goes into eligibility. In here is where the recruiters enter the move when the student move into your district, right here. And with whom, and what is the qualifying arrival date. I am showing this because I want you to realize what information is transferred into the student view when we move. Then the recruiter enter the qualifying activity. It is seasonal or temporary. Then the children information. The student name, last name. As you can see, we try to have all items populated because we are having several problems with M6 that we are not collecting all the information that we need. When the recruiters enter all the information here, seeing here the enrollment day, this is transferred to the student view. And then the recruiters sign the COE, the parents, then staff, the district staff. Then they submit the COE and see how it's still incomplete because the COE needs to be reviewed. But I want to emphasize one thing in here, that even though this is an incomplete COE, when I move into the student view, you will see here, just click on go, and then I move to the student view. This is an incomplete COE, but it already created an enrollment line. You see here? And that's why when a district has a incomplete COE, when we run the reports, we find this problem, that the system picks this enrollment, so the other enrollment doesn't show up. If I want to delete this, I cannot do it because the system says that I am not authorized. And that's why. But I am using this just for my training purposes. And all the data entry will start at the beginning of the school year. And it will start with a school history. But first on the top, you will see personal data, where the student information it is. And I don't have to enter anything in there because it's already populated. But if the student is on continuation of services, let's say this student doesn't need continuation of services because this COE will expire on March 4th, 2022. So that means this is gonna be blank. The data entry don't need to enter anything, just leave it blank. But if this information here is telling you that, let's say this expire on March 4th, 2019, then you will need to pick 01 in there. So that's continuation of services. That's the provision. Only then you will need. Right now, we don't need, so just leave it blank. Then for the high school, they want us to enter the designated graduation school, but not the name of the school. We need the school ID, the national ID that is in the National Center for Education Statistics. They assign every school an ID. That's the ID that we need in here. That's why Oklahoma City has this. This is the Oklahoma City High School, because this student is in 9th grade. So that's why graduation is only for 12th grader, seniors, that they will graduate on May, or they graduated already. So we need to tell in here the graduation, it is from high school. I didn't see any graduation for high school equivalents or GEDs, only regular high school graduations. Here we need the date, and also we need to see here GED graduation. Graduation means high school, on your high school. So we need to pick one, but usually it's graduation. I didn't see any GED or high school equivalents. So pick graduation there. And then we move, the school name is gonna be pre-populated from the COE that I showed you before at the beginning. This one is city public schools, it's just the district in general, it won't show the ID. But if you pick one of your sites, it will show the site ID in here. See, all this one is already pre-populated. The enrollment is already pre-populated. At this time, you should be able only to update this information, because at the beginning of the school year, you have to enter, for example, if the student is appraised for services, ELL, LEP, or has an IEP, medical alerts, it has immunization available. If the student has a termination, let's see the termination types. See, the termination can be because the student turned 22 years old, eligibility ended, the student graduated, moved, or is non-migrant. Usually it's non-migrant when we do the re-interviews, we mark them as non-migrant. So that student is non-migrant anymore. That's the date in here. But this is case by case. But the general rule is at the beginning of the school year, you need to complete these pieces of information here. Everything needs to have something, no blanks. Yes or no, yes or no. And then when you come, let's say for fall, you just update information as needed. You don't need to work again everything. Like right now for spring, at the end of the school year, it's just outdating. What we need right now is the withdrawal date here. Some districts, they withdraw, the last day of school was on May 8th. So that will be in here, 05, 08, 20. And then the days enrolled in here, how many days the students were enrolled on that district. For example, some district, because it was a short year, I think were 130 days, the whole year. If you have information there, let's say from fall, maybe only say 70, or I don't know, can think how long it was. But then you need to update that information to 130 in here. And then the days present here. What that means is you need to count how many days the student was absent and put it in here. So for example, this student was 130 days enrolled at the school, but then was absent 10 days. So you will put 120 in there. Let me see if I can write down in this COE 05, 08, 20. Let me see what happened. Oh yeah, it allowed me, okay. And days enrolled 130. He was absent 10 days, so now it's 120. See, that's the most that you will do with school history right now because you have everything else done already. Just outdating, no need to do everything back again. Just these three things, one, two, three. And if your student withdraw before this date, then you will need to go in here and enter that date, the last day that the student was present at your school district, or the day when you knew that the student has withdrawn. And then you will make your counts in here, the same calculation, how many days and how many present. Nothing more in here, this was done. If the student drop out, then you need to enter that date in here, the date that you learned that the student has dropped out, but you also will need to put the same date in here, the dropout date. When you enter this information here, then you don't have to worry about the test because this is an automatic transfer of information. But I am reviewing the test part to see if the student has any information here from your district, because the system will pull the information, but some students, they don't show any information, even that they are, for example, in 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, and they don't show anything. And maybe because sometimes they move into your district and you don't have the information, or the information was not entered in your information system. So the system didn't pull nothing from there because it tried, but it didn't find anything. So we need to make sure that if we have the information, enter the information. So we have all the information needed to populate M6, because that's the problem. All this information that we are entering right now, the system is pulling this information will transfer into M6, and we create reports, assessment reports for the student record. And health information, this is not required, but it is recommended that if you have information about the student, enter that information there. The more information that the student has on file, the better that you can help the student when they move to another school district. Here, the MEP services, MEP services, or we call it supplemental programs before, but we wanted to align with our evaluators and with N6. So that's why we changed it to MEP services. Here you will enter all the services that you are providing to your students. And this is done manually. There is no automatic transfer in here. And how you do that, before you enter any information, you may have some information here already from fall. So if you have it and the student is taking the same course or taking the same program, then you just have to update it. For example, see here, when was that the student started? See the 5.8 in here? This is the withdraw date that I entered just on school history. It's transferred to the MEP services because the system knows that this is the withdraw date, and this when all the programs will end if the student is still enrolled at the school until that day. But I am missing here the start date. Let's say the student started on 08. Let me see the enrollment date. Enrollment date, where is it? Enrollment date. Let me look for the enrollment date of this. Oh, it's not valid. Okay, I am missing more information here. Let me delete that. Let me move because see, I don't do that. The system won't allow me to move. Okay, now the enrollment day is 3/9/2019. So that's the date that I need to enter here on Map Services. See, 0, 3, 0, 9. What it was? Forgot. Thinking too much. Let me see. 0, 3, 0, 8. Oh, 0, 3, 0, 8. 0, 3, 0, 8, 19. Okay. See, right there. So if you have in here this date already, you just need to enter this date. The withdraw date will populate in here. The hours. I received a question the other day about how to calculate hours. It's difficult for me to tell you how many hours a student was at risk or were receiving this kind of program. But let's say this student was in bilingual, or let's say it was for English learner and was receiving classes for that. So how many hours a day was the student receiving that? How many times were pulled for that? 30 minutes a day. So maybe it's about 2.5 hours weekly. So if the student was enrolled, was present 120 days, you may want to calculate, and that's the hours. Or you know already how many hours the program lasts. I don't know, but that's the hours in here. And to create or to enter another program here, you need to click the plus sign here, and it will clear, see? Now I can pick a program, and I can, let's say this student went into computer literacy. I click in computer literacy, and then I hit the tab key, and I get the number code is 018. And it's already, I have the start date and the end date populated. I just need the hours in here. Maybe it was 60 hours. And one thing that I don't want to miss is the funding call. It doesn't matter, it's another program, it's another federal program. It's with local funding, migrant funding, other funding, or state money, or Title I money. You just choose one. You need to know who paid for that and put it there, select one. Let me say migrant paid for computer literacy. I pick migrant. And if I don't have anything to enter, like another program for this student, I just click in here, it save it. See how, one problem that I see when I review the district data is that the student may have several enrollments here. The enrollment days in here, see the green part, that's the enrollments. Some students are new, so they have just one enrollment, but some students have been recertified, and every time that you recertify a COE, the system will create another enrollment. And that's why if you didn't complete the process, the enrollment still will be there. Even if you delete the COE, you need to go back in here and delete the enrollment too, because that enrollment will stay there. So some students, they have 1, 2, 3 enrollment lines in here. So now that we have entered the MEP services, we have in here some information that you can change in here in the parents tab. It's not much, but sometimes there are some changes in addresses. You can do those changes here, not on the COE, because the COE is already approved and you won't be able to do it over there. But yes, You can do changes in here. Also, you can change the student name in here. You just need to click in edit name. See, that pop up. And I am telling you this because I receive requests to change a student name or last names or misspelled names or last name usually. You can do the change in there. And then when you do, let's say, how can let me put a middle name here. Peter, for example. Oh, see, I am not authorized to enter more information. Okay. One thing in here that I want to show you right now that I saw, close this one. And I need to go back to the COE just to show you why I cannot do changes here. I go back to the COE and click on the, let me move this a little bit out from there. See the view log? And it's telling me that the COE is owned by the state for OK0. And as you can see here, I am in this corner close. See in this corner here, in the left corner, the top, I am OK 1018. That's why I cannot do changes. Only when I am on my desktop, here at the agency, I can do those changes. And that's the reason why. That's when you have problems deleting something, it will tell you right there who can do the changes. Now I need to go back to the student. Okay, we were on the parents. And I know that I am not able to do changes here, but you can, because the COE is going to be approved already. This COE is incomplete. It's owned by the person who actually created. The course history, this is the same that was called before. It was like a credit accrual, but we changed it because we want to be consistent with names. So a regular student enrolled at your school will have all this populated. This student doesn't have anything because the system didn't pull anything because this is not a real student. But from your district, it will have several. It can have the subject, see, agriculture, for example, and the system actually is working very good with your schools, but sometimes it doesn't find anything to transfer to. So we need to review this. And if nothing in here, we need to make sure why, because we need this information for the student report on M6. Again, all this information goes to N6, and that's why it's very important that we have it, because N6 is creating reports, and the feds, they are looking at those reports right now, and we look a little bit out. We are not, but not too bad. But still, we have a long way to go on data. Okay, when the system pulls all the information for this student, this area is going to be covered. When I review it, I will create a spreadsheet and I will let you know. And you'd let me know also why there is nothing for that student. I mean, it's going to be okay. I mean, we don't have the information. The system is not pulling information. Nothing that we can do. That's it. We do what we can do. If the student don't have it, that's it. No, nothing to do. Okay, we have the document style. See, this is a lot of controversy because sometimes it's difficult, but if you scan a document into your computer from a printer or a scanner, then you can upload or you can attach a document in here. See, for example, I can attach, I just pick what document to, I don't know which one I don't have anything. And I don't know if the system will allow me, but I can try finding one just to see it will take it. Let me see. Maybe I find something that I can try to this is okay. Let me see, I can put that one. See, it's already there. As you can see, we just need a description in there. This is a student, this. And then you just click in here to save it, or click in here to delete it. And I will delete it, okay, because I don't want to leave that in there. Gone. So that's about the data entry that MIS2000 is collecting. Do you have any question until now? Let me see.